Good morning.
Okay, good morning, everybody. This is the Dr. Simonds Metabolics and Weight Loss Ask Me Anything Facebook Live on Monday, May the 1st, 2023. We're open today. I say that every time. Okay.
Both
if we weren't
offices
open,
are open.
we wouldn't be having this thing. Trust me. So I'm Dr. Simonds. This is Michelle Kennedy, nurse practitioner in our Raleigh office. And I think most of you know who we are. There may be some new people joining who don't. So if you don't, that's who we are.
Welcome.
Yes, thanks for joining. We're going to be answering questions about weight loss this morning, and to entice you to stay along and listen, we give away a $25 gift card.
Yes.
So, Michelle, what do you have to do to register to win the gift card?
So in order to get registered for our $25 Target gift card today, we're going to ask you to do two things. We want you to comment hashtag Simonds AMA and like this video. Also, feel free to comment if you have any questions or just contributions today. We love when people are interacting with us live. We also have some really great questions. You always see us looking down on our laps because we are reading off of our papers.
Right.
Because people are so great about sending it in. If you're watching this recorded, send in your question for the next one. We'll be back in 2 weeks. And of course, Susie is here as always.
That's right.
Good morning, Susie.
She has, in fact, won the $25 gift card previously.
Yes, probably more than once because your chances are really good. 10 a.m. on a Monday is sometimes hard for people to be here live. A lot of people watch these recorded, but if you are here live, enter because your chances are very, very good. Susie is now the only one, but could have
It's all right. Get a 100% chance of winning right now, Susie.
All right. Shall we dive in?
Let's dive in.
All right.
Karen's the first.
Yes. Take it.
Yeah, sure. I'm not sure I understand exactly this question. I think I do, but I may be a little bit off here. So Karen asks, I'm trying to lose weight and dealing with aches and pains. You stopped right there. That makes sense. When you lose weight, you get rid of it. Aches and pains come because you're carrying too much weight on your skeleton.
Yes.
Right?
And just inflammation from eating cruddy food.
That's true. You put the two together, you got a problem, right?
It feels bad.
It feels bad. And so, yes, so cutting out things like sugar, okay, things like processed grains, getting that out of your diet and losing weight is a surefire remedy to this situation.
I agree.
Yeah, so sugar in particular, look, it's a very inflammatory substance. And then when you grind up this wheat and make a fine flour in the form of noodles and bread and crackers and all that stuff, this is all stuff that whether you lose weight or not, those are pro-inflammatory substances. And so you're just taking in some inflammation and asking for your joints and so forth to hurt. All right, you then put some extra weight on top of that. Imagine, I always say, if you put 40 pounds in a backpack, carried it around 24 hours a day, you'd start hurting, you'd be tired, and this is the effect of being overweight, you see. So anyway, so the next part of that, she says, aches and pains that can throw me off balance. Well, I wasn't sure whether that meant physically you have a hard time keeping your balance or just kind of throws you off your game as far as diet and weight loss and all that sort of thing. What's the best thing to do to stay on track? Well, medicine helps.
Yeah,
okay.
Support.
Mindset, medicine, right. Have a nutrition plan. Have a physical activity plan. Change your behaviors and take medicine and come in and be accountable and just do your regular office visits so we can check on your progress, adjust your medicine to your needs, to make sure that your appetite and cravings and desires are controlled and that sort of thing, and to make sure you're losing weight.
Yeah. And also keep in mind, Karen, exercise, although very important for health and could be helpful for aches and pains, and if you are dealing with any balance issues, exercise has a lot of benefits, but weight loss is mostly nutrition based. So if you are hurting and you do not feel like you can exercise a lot or do a lot of fitness related things, that's okay. The majority of our patients lose significant amounts of weight, if not all of their weight they're looking to lose without incorporating intense exercise or gym or anything like that. So don't feel like that has to be part of the plan, especially right now.
Right. I agree with that. Totally agree with that. Okay.
Let's move on to
Let's
Charlie.
get Charlie's
Does
question.
too much protein and not enough fat have a negative effect on ketosis and weight loss? And then he goes on to say, what's the best way to get the proper amount of fat without going over on net carbs or calories? A two-part question, very good question. Let's address the first one. Is too much protein negative for ketosis and weight loss? There is a lot of stuff out there that talks about if you eat way too much protein, the protein can be converted in your liver to sugar essentially, and it can prevent you from entering ketosis. And for some people, this is real.
Yes.
Yeah, this can be a thing. Not for everyone, but for some people, yes, Charlie. So if you find that you need a little bit more fat in your diet and you need that ratio of protein and fat to be a bit more on the higher fat and lower protein, that's okay. But we all still need probably 30 grams of protein a meal, even when we're in ketosis. Would you agree?
I agree with that. I think that there's an attempt always to make a one size fits all with everything we do in society, and it generally is not like that. So I know that I'm a low carb guy, but a lot of my colleagues and friends and so forth and associates in the low carb community are zealots when it comes to this. They are insistent that you take one person who's really insulin resistant and they actually need more fat and a little less protein. And so they'll take that and just blindly apply it to everybody. When the truth of the matter is that a lot of patients I see, their problems originate from carbohydrate intake. And just getting them switched over to a combination, I always say proteins, fats, and vegetables. Well, you most of the time don't have to tell them how much protein, how much fat. When they get switched over to that, they generally stop eating at the right time and they're losing weight. I mean, I can hand you a ribeye steak with butter on it, and I can hand you 10 of them at a time at 1 pound a piece. I promise you can't eat them all in one meal.
No way.
You might make it through a half one and that's it.
So
you just
filling.
stop, right? So it's not like it's really hard to just kind of mess this up. Is what I'm saying. Yeah, it's just kind of hard to mess it up, and you can. I think everybody's body's a little bit different, so you can play around with if you want to start playing around with macros and the ratios of protein to fat, and start taking some notes on how you feel and what your weight loss is doing because you're weighing every morning. You could probably find a zone that works perfect for you, but may not work right for me or Michelle.
Yeah, completely agree. I completely agree. And Joe, I think for you, that's absolutely the best advice. When we are seeing patients individually, we are helping them understand what is going to be best for them. And I will just comment on the fact that I have a lot of female patients who have to be very careful doing a super high fat ketogenic diet just because of the calorie counts. And that kind of goes into the next section of your question here, Charlie. How do you get the proper amount of fat without going over on net carbs and calories? And my recommendation usually is get fat that is already naturally contained in the foods that you're eating. Start with that before you start just dumping oil or dumping butter in your coffee or onto things, which for some people can be helpful. But before you go there, eat the fat in the ribeye, eat the fat in the egg yolk, eat the fat in the avocado, right? Eat the fat in the dairy. It's contained in the protein containing product in the right ratio because nature gave it to us that way.
That's correct.
So start there. Start there. Only do added fats, Charlie, if you really find that you're not getting the performance or the weight loss that you're looking for from that protein fat ratio that comes from nature already.
I agree with that. Totally agree with that.
Good questions, Charlie. Thank you. So good, Tammy. Oh, and also, good morning, Annette. We saw you.
Annette.
So we got Susie and Annette here. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, I think I'm going to finish up on Charlie's idea before we go on to Tammy, but the last clause of that last sentence is without going over on net carbs and calories. So, I think that, look, we generally don't get obsessed about calories here, but the truth of the matter is that you can take in too many calories.
Do matter.
Yeah, your body just, you can't eat 10,000 calories a day. A physically inactive person can't eat that and expect to lose weight.
Correct. Even healthy calories. That's the point.
And that's right. And and the converse is true. I always say starvation works. Calorie restriction will make you thin. So whether you like it or not, right? It just is the way it is.
Yeah.
No one dies obese in a famine-ridden country. They just don't, right? So
Very true.
I think that this idea of being satiated, catches up with you 20 minutes after you eat. You kind of got to learn your body when you eat this protein and fat, because if you're initially hungry and you start, like a lot of guys do, woofing down food really
like
quick.
Someone's going to take it away
Exactly,
from you.
right. Like you're in the military. Oh my God, the drill sergeant's here, and I got 10 minutes to eat all this stuff and be out of here, right? So this is the kind of mindset that we kind of get, and I notice this is more so with men than with women. But and so then that feeling of satiety catches up with you later, and you're like, why did I do that? So part of your growth process is to learn, just, okay, I'm going to go slow. I'm going to eat a certain small amount of this protein and fat, and then I'm going to wait 20 minutes and decide whether I want to eat any more at that point once I have the feeling of satiety, right? So this is something that'll keep your calories in line if you learn to practice this, and you won't have to sit around like an accountant in tax season counting up a bunch of numbers, right? And you'll find that this works really well. So that's a good habit to work on.
Yeah, that's a great point. And people who see me will hear me say a lot, golden rules: eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full. And a lot of us, because of this ultra processed, hyper palatable junk out there, it tricks us. So we don't actually know when we're hungry or when we're full. Right. We can consume 10,000 calories in a day and not feel stuffed. It's really remarkable what they've done, but it's also killing us.
Right. Yeah.
And it's pretty terrible. When you eat real whole food, you will feel full.
Yes, that's right.
Right? You will. Just like I was saying, you just got to wait a little bit. You got to be patient. Good morning, everyone. Again, we are open both offices. We're doing.
Ask me anything. Facebook Live. That's right. Yeah. I mean, in case you didn't know.
Give it $25 to Target, as we tend to do. We ask you to do two things, just like Susie and Annette did. We want you to comment #Simonds AMA, and we would like you also to like this video. That will put you in the running for winning a gift card today. And then in 2 weeks, we're going to do it again.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right. We're going to go to our next question.
Tammy says, I generally prefer real food and cooking up some of your delicious recipes, but I get home late many days from work and like a lean cuisine. I search for the high protein one, she says. What is your take on these?
We get it, Tammy, right? Yeah. You're busy. A lot of people are. I think that is an excellent choice over going through a McDonald's drive-through or any other quick, junky fast food. Love that you look for the high protein ones. And I know we've talked before about places like Elite Prep meals. I'm pointing because we have a refrigerator right here. So they do prepped meals for you. So if you like the frozen stuff in the grocery store, that's okay. But if you want something kind of next level, cleaner, locally made, you're going to go with something like Elite Prep. There's also a company called Clean Eats around here in the Triangle region, which is fantastic. They basically meal prep for you, and it is fresh, not frozen. You can season it up. So something like that is an option as well. But I think the Lean Cuisine or things like Atkins meals are a good option. And even like, I don't know, we've talked about other things. We've done whole shows on like quick and easy stuff. Rotisserie chicken, just cooking up eggs, right? Deli meat roll up. So there are convenient, quick and easy things when you just didn't have the time to prep it. Or we've also talked about prepping ahead, right?
Yes, and that is, Tammy, that's what I have to do. I'm really busy during the week. And so, last night, for example, I was cooking up the protein for the whole week.
Me too.
So that it's all there, and so, I kind of had shopped the grocery store, got my deals, and then, I just alternate the vegetable, you see. And so, because really the way that, and I think this is true of a lot of people, it's very few of us who are serious about diet, they're really sitting down eating 3 meals a day, right? So the one meal that kind of the sit down meal for me is the evening meal. But I don't have time when I come home from work, just like you don't. And if I wait then to prepare the protein, it's too late, right? So if I've got the protein made, I just have to warm it up in the microwave, put it on the plate, So I got my salad stuff. I'm in the sauteing broccoli here in recent times, sauteing or roasting broccoli, and so that's a pretty quick process. And then I can just pair it with the protein, and I can alternate the vegetable every night. And I have some people say, well, hey man, you mean you eat the same protein for the whole week? And I'm like, yeah. Okay. Yeah. And that's not a bad thing. Okay. I think we put a little too much emphasis on variety in this country. And this is, partly responsible for the idea that the entire nation is obese. Okay. Is that our ancestors didn't have that luxury. When the deer came by, they killed it. And guess what? They ate deer till all the deer was gone.
Yep.
Right. You see? And so this idea that you have this abundant variety and you have to eat a different protein every night, quit being spoiled. Okay, it's just time to look at food as an energy source. It doesn't have to be unpleasant, but it also doesn't have to be the centerpiece of your life and rule everything that you do. Otherwise, at lunch, you're sitting around planning what you're going to have for dinner.
Yeah.
Right.
So true.
So it kind of brings things together. Just to plan it once a week. Maybe you cook two kinds of protein on the weekend. Have it all packaged up in your refrigerator, ready to go. So you just have to reheat it. And this is a way that you can, have these or do these recipes. Another thing, some of the casseroles that we do. You can make those casseroles
and
up. That's right.
Yeah. I have done that many times. Yeah.
And so there's ways to go about it. I agree with Michelle. The lean cuisine, the high protein lean cuisine, is much better than going to a fast food place, right?
Absolutely.
And I do, the rotisserie chicken is a really easy one to do. And if you got to go in the store and get it, you might as well grab the bag salad while you're there.
A bag of lettuce, your dressing.
Yeah, and then the rotisserie chicken, and you are in business.
Yep.
Right.
And if you're not quite there yet, like the idea of eating the same thing over and over is just not something you're ready or able to do, and you kind of want to tiptoe your way there, then meal prep a couple nights of protein, and then also have a few lean cuisines, right?
Yeah.
You can vary it, right? Tonight I'm going to do eggs. Tomorrow I'll do what I meal prep. The next day I'll do a lean cuisine, right? You can ease your way in. Like, we understand some people, the idea of eating the same thing over and over is just not something they're ready for. But if you can mentally get yourself to the point where that is your end goal, I promise it will make your life so much easier, and maintaining your weight so much easier.
Yes.
To come to terms with the fact that people who are very good at losing and maintaining their weight are pretty regimented, eating similar things over and over. Maybe they do a protein shake or yogurt every morning for breakfast, or most mornings. Maybe they do a rotisserie chicken or deli meat most lunches, and it's their dinner that's varied.
That's right.
Like you said.
It's true. It's true. This idea of being regimented works, whether you're talking about diet or not.
It's true. Many facets of life.
That's right. I guarantee those pro golfers on TV practice that swing a lot. They practice that putt and stroke a lot. And it's the same thing, but they do it over and over again, and it makes them really good. And they make a lot of money doing it. Okay, right. So this is true of a lot of things in life, and so you can apply that same concept to your approach to eating, and this will really make you victorious, I think, in a lot of ways, in terms of your weight, your health, and all of that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question, Tammy. Yeah. Thank you. We'll move on to Tom. After losing significant weight in the first 3 to 4 weeks of my mission, I'm stalled out around the same weight for nearly 3 weeks. Is this considered normal, and how do I jumpstart additional weight loss? This is very, very common, Tom. We have patients all the time who come in, usually our new starts, that say, I'm here because I can stick with it for the first few weeks, and then as soon as I don't see the continued weight loss every day in the scale, I get frustrated and I give up. It's just too much. So you are absolutely not alone. Your body is going to fight you every step of the way. Usually it starts around the 8-week mark, but I think this 3 to 4 week that you're talking about is when that initial big drop comes, because we are going to lose some water weight, right? And that's going to happen pretty quickly in the first week, maybe 2 weeks. and then you'll see it slow down a little bit, and then there will be a stall for some people, just like you're talking about. And that doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It just means it's time to do something.
Yes, I agree with that. I mean, the way I kind of explain it to patients is, your cells have a mind of their own. Yeah, they don't have the conscious mind. They've got a mind of their own, and they're thinking about things like, wait a minute, you just lost 10 pounds in 3 weeks. Huh.
Yeah.
If we go through the rest of the year like this, this
be
body is going to wither away and die.
incompatible with life.
Right. Yeah. So it tries to throw on the metabolic brakes on purpose, and this is what leads to these plateaus. All right. And like Michelle says, you have to kind of try some different stuff to get around that.
Yeah.
A lot of times when you come back to your follow-up visit at that point, we may make a change in your medicine. That also really helps. So if you change up what you're eating, you change up your exercise, and you change up your medicine. This is the idea. If you throw a little metabolic confusion at your body, it's really good at adapting.
Yes.
Yes. So it's an efficient organism.
That's how we've survived.
That's right.
So many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. That's exactly right. So,
and part of it too is just kind of the mindset, the expectations. I think a lot of us with lots of facets of life, but especially with weight loss, is we get ourselves in trouble because we are setting expectations that really just set us up to feel like we're failing. But the reality is weight loss is hard. It's not a water slide where just where you start and where you end. It's just like woof. It's not like that.
Yes.
There's ups and downs and overs, and those overs can last, and those downs can be very, very quick, and those ups can be very, very quick. And it can be frustrating. I know we've talked a lot before about even just water fluctuations on the scale can just really mess with our minds. So while we like the idea of daily ways for accountability, if it is driving you crazy to see those little fluctuations, then you weigh weekly, right? So there's strategies too. And you talk to us. Is this normal? Is this okay? So we can reinforce over and over that, hey, you're doing a really good job. This is what we expect. It's okay. Or we can say, we need to change something, right? This is not what we want to be seeing, and you're doing a good job, but we just need to change this or that with the medication or with your fitness or with your sleep or your nutrition, most likely, right? So the jump start, right? How do I jump start? Those changes could be a reduction in carbohydrate, a reduction in calories, right? A change in your water intake. It could be that simple.
That's right.
If you're not drinking enough water, right, we're going to get you hydrated. If you're having some protein but not enough protein, we're going to increase that, right? We may introduce a little fasting, and we recommend that a lot.
Yes, that's
Our
right.
ancestors were really good at it.
Yeah, they were, and it's programmed in our DNA. They didn't sit down and eat 3 squares a day. Like I said, when the deer came by, that's what they had. They tended to feast, and then there tended to be fasting.
Until they can get another deer or a harvest.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, and they didn't have some of the nice things that we have today agriculturally to make sure that crops grow in all kinds of conditions. Yeah, they were much more subject to bad conditions.
Yeah, they were at the mercy of the land.
Yes.
Yeah, they really were.
Yeah, so the bottom line is they didn't eat as much. They had these periods of fasting built in, whether they wanted them or not, it was there.
Yeah. So Tom, give us a call, right?
Yeah.
Give us a call, let us help, or send us an email. We can suggest some personal things for you based on what you are currently doing, because that is kind of important. We need to know what you are doing to know what we are going to change. And that's why it's hard to just say a blanket approach. But I will say for most people, a little bit of fasting, it really does work. So that may be just squeezing your meals into an 8 or 10 hour window if currently you're eating in a 12-hour window. So for most folks, we'll say, hey, are you hungry in the morning? Or are you eating because it's time, right? Because if you're not hungry, do not eat. Always goes back to that golden rule, right? If you're not hungry, don't eat. And when you are full or satisfied, you have to stop. So let us know what's going on, Tom, with you, and we can definitely help get you back on that lost trajectory.
Okay, Annette says, what are the best vitamins for women over the age of 65 to take? And she wants to know if maltodextrin is bad. What are your thoughts, Michelle?
So as far as the vitamins go, a lot of you may already know that we carry a great brand in our office called Metagenics. and they have a great multivitamin called Phyto Multi. I really like that one, regardless of age. It just covers all the bases.
Yep.
It really does. We can definitely help you with more specific recommendations in that if you reach out to us. But I would say that is one I can in confidence recommend to you for sure. As far as the maltodextrin, this is a difficult one because maltodextrin is in a lot of things, and there's a lot of prepackaged food that you would not be able to eat if you tried to avoid maltodextrin altogether. Right. So I think it's one of those things that in moderation, if you're losing, it's okay, right? I wouldn't worry about it. If you are really struggling to lose, then we're going to look at whatever the bars or processed stuff that you are eating that have maltodextrin in the list. We're going to look at those and maybe remove those.
I agree. That you just nailed it. I mean, if you're losing, that's fine, but if you're not, then you need to take a skeptical view of that and consider removing it from your diet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's funny how if you look that up, it'll say, if you did an internet search, what is it? It's been sold to you and I over the years as this slowly digesting form of carbohydrate starch, if you will. But half the internet sites you see describe it as a rapidly digesting. So I think it's like with people, some of them it absorbs slow and so slow that it does not interfere with their weight loss because they get no spike of glucose or insulin, right? Mm-hmm. And others, it absorbs faster and this impedes the weight loss because there's a spike in the glucose and insulin. Right. So, I think knowing whether you're losing or not is key.
Yeah. Individualize again.
Right. Yeah.
Again.
That's right.
Crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Charlie and Candace, so much.
Yes.
Good morning to you as well, Candace. Glad you're here.
All right. 3 minutes left. Is red wine allowed? Says Carolyn, allowed on occasion. Why, yes, Carolyn, it is.
Yeah.
In excess, no. But in moderation, yes.
Yes.
On occasion, I like the way you say that. If you're drinking it all the time, this can really slow down your progress. But if you're talking about 1 or 2 nights a week with dinner, for example, I got no problem with that.
Yeah, I agree. And I would lump all alcohol, honestly, into that same thing.
That's right.
It's the sugar-free cocktails or the really heavy, high-carb, beers that we want to be more careful of when we're losing weight. The alcohol itself is a little bit less of the problem. The mixers are what you need to worry about a lot.
Yes.
So things like a dry white or red wine, totally fine. Stay away from the dessert stuff that's really sweet. Doing any kind of liquor with a diet tonic, club soda, like a LaCroix or one of those sparkling waters, that's totally fine. You can use citrus as a flavor enhancer, so you can do lime, lemon, orange, right? That's all going to be fine. But the main thing is not to overdo it, not to do it too often, and not to mix it with something that has sugar in it. So great question. So Candace is asking how much wine a week is acceptable on wine in a typical week. So how much per week? So that's a very, very good question.
Yeah, it depends on, I think it depends on the outcome measure you're talking about too. If you're talking about preventing cancer or heart disease or whatever, or losing weight, these are all different outcomes, and there's a lot of different information out there based on that. I would say if you're, look, your glass, right? There's big wine glasses and small.
We're not talking goblets.
Yes, yeah, right.
We're talking regular wine.
We're talking about, if you're under 8 to 10 ounces a day, I think you're okay. Mm-hmm. And so that's like a 4 or 5 ounce glass. If you had 2 of them, that's really not a lot. Mm-hmm. So, you consider a can of beer is 12 ounces. Mm-hmm. So, it's anyway, I think that I've noticed that people who stay under that amount lose weight more fine, and people who go over that amount have a little more trouble.
Yeah, and I would say as far as the regularity, I do find people who drink 5 to 7 days a week do struggle to lose a little bit more, and they may make poor food choices when they have alcohol in their systems regularly. Versus someone who maybe 2 to 3 times a week, they're budgeting it in and they're really enjoying it, but they know it's not an all the time sort of thing, and they don't overdo it. Got it. Thank you. All right. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So the winner of the Target gift card today.
Oh, it is Charlie.
All right, Charlie.
Thank you so much for everyone who is here. here and attended live. And for everyone who's going to be watching this recorded, share it, like it, and attend. In 2 weeks, we will be back. That will be
Yes.
May 15th.
Yes, I will be gone on vacation.
Oh.
So I guess Michelle will be riding solo, have a guest, or maybe we can talk about putting it off until I get back. We'll
Okay.
have that discussion. Stay tuned, everybody.
Stay
You'll
tuned.
find
To
out.
be determined.
Okay.
All right, everyone. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you sometime.
Take
next.
care, everybody.